Welcome to Business Law and Ethics. This is the course set up in Brightspace. So I'll take a little bit to walk through how Brightspace is set up. So this is your course home. This will be your announcements. So always take a minute to read those. A new announcement should show up every Monday, just kind of letting you know what to expect that week. This video is based on the summer session, which is 8 weeks and runs a little quicker. We also have regular 16-week classes in the fall and in the spring semesters, and they'll be set up in Brightspace the same, but obviously with more weeks. So if we go over to our Lessons tab in Brightspace, you will see to the left here is how you'll move around. So if we click on that Start Here, you have that it's instant access through Cengage. So it'll take you into the Cengage site for your homework and your cases and anything that's basically due other than your tests and your papers will be done through this Cengage site. And then we've got our course overview and then our syllabus files. So there's the master syllabus, and then you'll have your class syllabus. So you want to make sure you take the time to read over your class syllabus. So again, it's like the contract of the course. So it's going to show your instructor, how you can reach your instructor, the textbook that we are currently using, and then how your grades are determined. So as you look through this class, you have 4 tests. Your final test in the class is not like a comprehensive final. It's just a test over those most recent chapters. You'll have an ethics project to write, and you are required to do that project. It's required for passing the class, so you can't just skip it. And sometimes I know that this is one of your first semesters here, and a project might be overwhelming, but we have a sample project for you to review. We've got the step-by-step, like how the points are awarded. So you just got to get started and do it. So take it seriously and know that it's worth 150 points, which is a little more than one test, and it is required. You can't just skip it and not do it. And there is a lot of homework in this course. Each chapter will have a why does it matter to me, learn it, and then apply it. And again, the learn it and the apply it's are more, like little mini scenarios that you're going to, apply the terminology that we're talking about in that chapter. So the learn it maybe is more understanding the vocabulary, and then applying it is those little mini scenarios that you're going to answer questions on. So they're both very, very good, and they will help you prepare for your tests. So take advantage of those. But there is a lot of homework, so we do drop the lowest 2 scores in each of those categories. Oops, sorry about that. So again, take the time to read over that. Then if we go down to the bottom, then again, shows you all the chapters we covered. The ethics project is required, must be completed. So we highlight that, make it bold. And then you have to take this pre-test and post-test. It's part of our accreditation. There's no grade associated with it. We just require the students to do it. So just don't forget to do that. You'll have to do it to open the course. And then all of your dates will be maintained in Cengage for certain, and at the bottom of this class syllabus. Hopefully they populate over into Brightspace during once the students enroll. There's no dates right now, but there's students not enrolled in this class yet. Okay, so then we'll go down. Gives you, then here's the career selection project. We put this in this class again because it might be your very first semester taking classes, and sometimes students pick a major, and then as they start to really delve into that major, they realize, hey, this isn't what I want to do at all. So it's just a good self-reflection to see if you really are in the right spot and the earlier you can figure that out, the better. So read through these 4 requirements and do each one of them, and it should be an easy points to get. It shouldn't be a hard project to do because it's really about you and self-reflection, and also gives you a little chance to write a smaller paper before you get into the ethics project, which is a bigger paper. Then here it maps out again the requirements of the ethics project, but you pick a code of ethics that relates to what your major is, and we give you some examples here, but there could be other ones as well. And then it outlines exactly how those points are going to be awarded. So read through these and understand how the points are being awarded, because if you don't do these things, you're going to lose those points. So if you don't discuss which one's most important to you, it's a minus 15 points. If you don't research 2 examples of real life scenarios that violated these ethics, you're going to lose 30 points. If you don't have the appendix and you don't put in your 1,600 words, you could lose up to 20 points, again, depending. So just make sure you understand those because that project is important. Then as you keep going down, you'll get to what your class withdrawal date is. And then down at the bottom again, here is your calendar. So if you don't see the due dates populate in Brightspace, you know you've got them here, and you know you have them in the Cengage site. So make sure you kind of go back and look those over. Okay, then we get into our lessons. And then in the lessons, you'll have the link to the Cengage site, that pretest that I said is required for you to take. Also in this class, right now we are doing some supplemental instruction. So if you're struggling with any of the materials and you would like to have an instructor talk over some of those concepts in a little more detail with you or give you examples, there's different Zoom links here. So it's all done on Zoom. We don't require you to turn on your camera. You can just pop in and ask a question or just ask the instructor to go over whatever material that you would like to hear a little more details about, because sometimes in an online class you might not get that opportunity. So these are every single day there's someone available on Zoom, but again at these specific times. So look through those. And then again, there's that career selection, there's the ethics project. So there's more details inside of those folders. There's the guidelines and then the YouTube videos and the link to career services. There's the instructions, the rubric, a sample project for the ethics project. Then for each week, you'll have your weekly objectives, you'll have materials and assignments. So your materials, you'll have a PowerPoint a YouTube video of me talking over the PowerPoint. You'll have the PowerPoint itself. You will have chapter notes. You gotta be a little patient with Brightspace. When you click it, it'll eventually bring it right on up, but it does take a few seconds for it to populate there. But then the nice thing about it is then you don't have to download it. So here's the PowerPoint, and then you can just scroll right through all the pages, and you don't have to download it onto your computer at all. Same with the chapter notes. Again, give it a couple seconds, and it'll populate there, and then you don't have to download it. You can just kind of scroll through. So there it goes. And I think these are provided by the publisher. But so then you look through, again, this is a good way, though, to get a lot of the different terms, get those definitions, maybe, do some flashcards from those notes, things like that, because there's a lot of different terms in this class. Then there'll be a link to read the chapter, again, because it's the ebook, so you can click that. And then every chapter will be set up that same way with all those the notes, the PowerPoint, the video of me talking over the PowerPoint. Then we come down into your assignments, and these will all be done through Cengage. So then you'll just click it, and then it will take you in. So click here to open it. And then it'll take you into that assignment, and then you will answer it, and then you will submit. So these, why does it matter to me, are very basic, just kind of getting you to think about what's the real meaning of the chapter. Obviously, the other ones are going to be a little bit more detailed when we get into the check your understanding or the apply it. Then you're going to get into some more detailed questions. So each chapter, though, again, will be set up with those three. So again, and it gives you 3 attempts, and then you'll go through, again, all of those questions. So, and then you'll submit it. But again, if you miss any, you can have the opportunity to go back. And then your highest score is what comes over. So then each chapter will be set up like that. And then you'll get into, when you do take your test will be in the Respondus lockdown browser, so that you will have to download that Respondus lockdown browser first, and then you have to go into the test through that Respondus lockdown browser. So if you get to a point where it asks you for a passcode, that tells me that you are not in the Respondus lockdown browser. So if you're in that browser, there is no passcode. So then don't send me an email and say, hey, I need a passcode to take the test, because you don't. It just means you're not in the lockdown browser, and you got to get into it in order to take your test. So maybe, again, don't wait till the last minute, especially for that first test. Make sure you do it a little bit early so you can get that Respondus lockdown browser, download it on your computer, and get it to work so you can get in to take the test. Okay, so I think that that is really the most important topics here to cover in your business law. And if you have any further questions, obviously email your instructor.